Okay, well, this video is going to be quite a long one, but it is also going to be my most informative one, and I believe it's going to help educate a lot of people. Unfortunately, after the recording session, I did notice that the webcam window was a little too big, and it did cut out some of the information, as well as down the sides of the screen, some information was lost. However, it is still a brilliant video for understanding exactly what I'm doing and how to approach it. And when I go into my videos where I specifically focus on each platform individually, I can promise you are going to be able to see everything. Today, since it's a basic overview, the small bits of information that were cut out aren't a big deal, but unfortunately, I did only notice it after the recording, so that's definitely something I've noted for next time. Please enjoy this video. It's going to be crazy informative. It's going to help you start getting things going, and please like the channel, subscribe, and I just hope you enjoy this. Okay, so jumping right in. This is coinmarketcap.com. Obviously, all links will be in the description, so don't worry. I use this to monitor the fluctuations in price in cryptocurrencies and which ones are following, and just make some decisions. And obviously, you can set it in whatever order you like, whether you want to change over the last 24 hours or whatever. But my main thing that I like to use for this is actually processing what's going on with that currency. So, for example, today Ethereum has taken a nice increase. Sorry, tongue-tied there. I'm not going to edit that out. That was way too much effort right now, at least. And I know this because today I managed to sell off a lot of my Ethereum. Now, I'm going to show you how I use this in order to decide when I want it to sell. So you can see Ethereum's number 2. These are obviously all the statistics. I'll go into the technologies and specific cryptocurrencies in individual videos, and I'll explain all the technical analysis, but this is just a brief overview of everything. So, when I'm looking at a cryptocurrency and when I want to buy and when I want to sell, this is where I come. So if I click on the graph over here, it'll take me to the Ethereum chart for these durations of time. So why I made my decision to sell today is because when I first started investing in Ethereum, it was about around this spike over here. So it climbed up and I literally watched this drop right here happen whilst I was monitoring it. And obviously I knew this was a consistent currency. You can see here, it always hit resistance around $400, then it would dip and climb back there. And that's what made me start watching it at around this stage. So I started paying attention around here and I literally watched this dip happen. So obviously I spent, I believe, it was my first time investing in Ethereum. I believe I put just over $5,000 down. I didn't want to jump all in, but I wanted to, at least make a profit the next time I caught it. So I invested down here, and I watched it for a couple of days. I believe, this was around October, so it's been about a month of monitoring it, and I knew that no matter whether it dipped or when it increased, it would hit a point of resistance at around $400. You can see that here. You can see that's an easy trend. And just whilst we're here, I will go more into detail. But when you see a currency bottom out, you're going to see a classic W shape. I'm going to show you that in a different timeline because it'll make more sense. But basically, this was a safe investment to buy here because it was only hitting resistance at around 400. So earlier today, it hit 407 to be exact. And as it hit 400, I sold. Why was that a safe bet? Because I can see that after it is hit near 400 in all of these trends, it has dipped. So there is a possibility that, this goes on 400, 600, 800, but I sold at exactly 400 because I knew it was a safe bet that it was likely going to get there, and I know that even if it dips now, I'm prepared for it. If it climbs, yeah, sure, I can reevaluate the trends after it's climbed and beat this 400 marker, but to date, it has not done that, and that's why I knew selling at 400 was a good idea. Now, in 2 weeks' time, if this is sitting at 800, I'm not going to be saying that, but I would have gotten more information, reevaluated my investments for next time I come and invest in Ethereum. So this is how I keep track of all my different cryptocurrencies, and that's how I monitor the graphs literally for every single last one of these. I'm invested in most of these coins at the top, at least, and a couple in the medium range, and I don't really touch the bottom of the graph, but that's because I'm not familiar with the technology behind them, and I like to know where my investments are going. So just to show you, there are indeed cryptocurrencies at the moment that have hit 51% returns, 47, 30 is not an uncommon place for that to happen. Meaning, if you had dropped your money in just today alone, so this is in the last 24 hours, just today alone, you would have earned 51% back on your money. And there are very few places where stuff like that can happen. Now, moving on, I'm going to touch on the different platforms I use for trading, and by trading I mean buying, selling, the general exchange. So there are a couple of them, and there's a reason why I use different ones, and I do want you to see this because it's worth monitoring them all so you can get the best value for your money. So if I come to Luno over here, right? I've recently withdrawn all my money from Luno, so it's kind of bland right now. It looks a bit better if you have something sitting in it, but you will see that for a single Bitcoin, it is sitting. By the way, just let me quickly touch on something. Most of my viewers are currently South African, so these are South African trading platforms. I will go into euro and dollar trading platforms, but only when I actually have the audience for it. So for right now, my audience is South African. I'm doing this for you guys. I'm keeping it local. So in rands, your Bitcoin on Luno is worth 125,900 rand. Okay. Now another one of my platforms that I use, which is Altcoin Trader. I come here and I see that it's sitting at 125,870. So you can see there is a slight difference, and sometimes that difference is not so slight. It can range up to like 300, 400 rand. So it's definitely good to know where you want to sell and where you want to buy. I've purchased most of my coins, I'm going to have to say, through Altcoin Trader because I can get a better idea of what times of the day I'm looking to buy. As you can see this nice little candle graph over here, it kind of breaks everything down very nicely for you. And at the top, you get a nice little low of the day and high of the day. So you want to know where you're going to be selling, where you want to buy and where you want to sell. Obviously, I don't use these as good indications of what's going to go up and down. That is all in this CoinMarketCap page over here. That's where I monitor the graphs extensively. This is just last 24 hours. Where was the low point? Where was the high point? That's not going to tell you if it's going up or down. So please don't use that as an indicator. Right. So I'll touch on how much I have on each of these platforms, I guess, at the end of the video. For people that actually made it to the end, it'll be kind of like a nice little treat, I guess, and how much I've made out of them. And then from there, what my general plans are and what I'm going to keep investing in and what I'm looking at right now. Okay, so the next thing is I also like to, as well as trade, I like to invest in passive incomes because, well, having multiple forms of passive incomes is truly the quickest way to generate wealth. That way, if you lose your job or one of them isn't working out, you still have 3, 4, 5 more to fall back on, and I can guarantee you that's going to give you the wealth you need. So for that, I use Genesis mining. Right now, I only have 2.5 terahash, and I'll explain these values in a little while, just because this can be quite confusing for someone that's definitely starting out. So basically, I hire hardware from one of the bigger mining companies in the world, Genesis Mining. They only release contracts when they have hardware available. They do have hardware available right now, but it's not going to last much longer. So I'm going to try to release my Genesis Mining video pretty quickly. I have a link to give you 3% off of your purchases through an affiliate program. So if you do like this idea of Genesis Mining, I'll definitely do that video soon, just so you guys have a better idea, and so that there are contracts available when you guys when you guys start looking at it. I really hope this green box up here hasn't been here the whole time, but I'm going to hide that for now. Sorry, this is a new software I'm using, so again, learning curve, but I feel like you guys are here with me with this. So basically, I hire hardware from a company in the States. You pay for your hardware up front, and they generate you Bitcoin over time, meaning as I'm sleeping or whatever, a machine out there is mining me Bitcoin, which is essentially mining me money. So I'm going to break these values down for you just to kind of make everything a little easier. And for that, we use something called Coin Wars calculators, and for Bitcoin mining calculators specifically. So if I come down here, I will touch back on their website now. If I come down here and I want to, say, buy hash power, I just want to put this in perspective so you can see the amounts. I have 2.5 terahash. So 2.5 terahash is, sorry, my mouse is a little sensitive. 2.5 terahash is $447, so about 6,200 rand. I might be slightly off because of the exchange rate, but normally not too wrong. Okay, so with this $447, I get 2.5 terahash worth of computing. If I come to this calculator over here to calculate my profits, I'm going to say 2.5 terahash. I don't have to pay for the power because it's someone else's. The pool fees, you do have to pay a percentage of your earnings back to the company as well. This is the current difficulty for mining Bitcoin, so the rate at which your hardware will generate Bitcoin. This is your reward, your current exchange. This is important. Your current price for your Bitcoin, which is $8,252. If we come back over here, sorry, I just would like to show you, it's roughly $8,200. It fluctuates a bit. So that's the current price to US dollars, and my hardware cost was $447. I am going to be buying more Genesis mining contracts because I'll explain how profitable they are in just a second. Calculate. So every single day, I am going to be earning, every single hour, that's how many dollars I earn. Every single day, that's how many dollars I earn. Week, month, year, so forth. These values change, but let me explain. So my $447 in the next year is going to earn me upwards of $1,000. But I'm predicting it's going to be more like $1,500 to $2,000. And I know that might not make sense to you guys here because obviously you're seeing a different value right now. But what I'd like to explain is with mining, you're not mining a specific amount of dollars. You're mining a specific amount of Bitcoin. So with my 2.5 terahash, I will guaranteed in the year earn that amount of Bitcoin down below. So that amount of Bitcoin is still going to go up in value as we've seen through the trends. Bitcoin is the king of cryptocurrency. If you don't know about Bitcoin, I'm going to have to create a new video that kind of simplifies things a bit more. But I'm pretty sure most of you have at least heard of Bitcoin. It is the king at the moment. And this will generate that precise amount of Bitcoin every year, which means when the Bitcoin value goes up, my profit goes up, but my payment does not because I've paid my $447 now. So my $447, I'm going to give an estimate in the next year will earn me $1,500. Every time you mine, for every little fraction you mine, pretty sure you can withdraw whenever you want. I've only just started with Genesis mining, so you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure you can withdraw whenever you want. Obviously your initial 447 up front, that goes to them to buy the hardware. Now, for the last platform I'm going to touch on, and I'm not going to go heavily into value on this one, simply because it is quite a controversial one, and I do not want anyone investing in it without me. Well, I mean, you can if you like, but I would prefer people not to invest in it, especially based off of my advice, until I actually release my full video on it, just because it's quite a controversial platform, and one thing I will say about it up front now is it is definitely going to crash. It is a high-risk investment, an extremely high-risk investment, but there is a reason I have invested so much money into it. So, coming over here, this is Bitconnect. Basically, you can lend a certain amount of dollars. Well, you lend coins to them, but it's basically worked out as capital, so dollars up front. You can lend them dollars, and it locks them in for a specific period of time. So for my investment, which down here you can see I've invested $1,120, that's about just under 16,000 Rand, ever so slightly under 16,000 Rand. I have invested $1,120, and that means I get a lockup period of 240 days. For the next 240 days, I cannot withdraw that capital. Now, why would I put myself in a risky situation like that? Because this platform earns me interest on my money every single day. So every single day, let me come over here to your lending software. Every single day, you will earn an interest depending on what the market's like. So, for example, on the 19th, you can see the values and how they go. But so basically, every single day, I get a payout in dollars to my account that I get to walk away with if I want, or I can reinvest them. So that's why I enjoy this, because it's a direct source of passive income. And something that's awesome about this is it works with compounding interest extremely well. So for example, I get 0.77% interest on my money here. I can choose to come over here and reinvest. So then I'm not only earning money on my initial payment that I made, but I'm also now earning interest on the interest I earned yesterday, meaning in any given month, it won't happen, but you can earn up to 40% interest per month on your money with it sitting here. And then at the end of your term, so at the end of my 240 days, they release this back to me as well. So I've earned money every single day from it, plus my capital gets released back to me. But this is a bit of It has a very bad reputation in the cryptocurrency world. I'll explain why. I'll go through everything with you. But basically, this is going to crash at some point, and if it crashes in the next 240 days, I will lose my initial capital, not necessarily the money I have been getting every month. So that's where the big risk comes in. Now, just to kind of finish up everything, like I said, I'll give you guys kind of more of what I have into all of these platforms and stuff like that at the end of the video. And I'm also going to cover that wallet I was talking about earlier. This was probably quite a long video. If you managed to make it to the end, I'm quite impressed. So, coming to Bitcoin trading. At the moment, I did sell a lot of Ethereum off today. I invested just over 5,000 Rand, and today I sold when it hit that $400 threshold that I showed you earlier. On this graph, when it hit my $400 and I was confident that it was a safe bet to sell, I cashed out my 5,000, just over 5,000 Rand in Ethereum, and I'm now sitting with 8,200 Rand because of it. So 3,000, roughly 3,000 Rand over the last month of monitoring it. I also have about another 1,000 Rand in Ripple over here. Ripple, I'll also touch on. It's quite an underknown currency. I have 275 Ripple coins. They're such cheap coins that I'm just kind of holding this to see if they go up in value. It doesn't fluctuate much. They cost $3.50 a coin. So, if I take a loss, it's not too bad. If it goes up, it's a major, major win. Then, my cloud mining. Obviously, I just showed you my Genesis mining. I have just over 6,000 Rand sitting in that. My Bitconnect, which was the $1,120, that's about 16,000 Rand. And then coming over to my wallet here, this is the wallet that stores locally on your machine. I have about 2,000 Rand of Bitcoin because I cashed a lot of my Bitcoin out last night. I'll cover why and what I'm doing with it in another video. I feel like there's a lot to take in this video as is. And about 1,000 Rand in Litecoin. Now, the reason I love this wallet so much is because it is the cleanest, most secure wallet I have run into. One, it's stored on your machine, so getting access to it is extremely difficult. They would literally have to have access to your computer and your private password. So they can't access it online and transfer funds whenever they want if you get hacked. So another thing I like about this wallet, let me show you over here. One, you can exchange coins directly into other coins right through your wallet. So say I'm holding a lot of Bitcoin and I see there's a good opportunity to buy another currency. I can literally swap my Bitcoin into that currency instantly from here for a small fee. It's not very high at all. And another thing I like is, as you can see here, I only monitor 4 currencies. These are the 4 currencies I store at the moment. It does not have an option for Ripple, which will be my 5th, but they support all of these different cryptocurrencies. So if I choose to invest in any of those cryptocurrencies, it'll come up here, graph it, and as you can see, this value adjusts in real time depending on the market price of your investment. Other than that, you can choose your currency. Obviously, for me, I'm preferring to work in rands. And you get an assortment of really nice, clean skins that you can use. I kind of swap between them at will. It's just a really nice and clean wallet to use to store your Bitcoin once you've bought it. So, for example, I come here, like I said earlier, to buy my coins. You can see my coins over here. I don't want them sitting online because if someone manages to log into my account, they can just transfer them to their wallet. So you basically want to deposit. And you get your addresses here. I'm not going to share all of mine publicly right now. I'm going to touch on that when I cover each of the specific platforms. But basically, you make either deposit or a withdrawal. In this case, it'll be a withdrawal, withdrawal into this wallet, and then it reflects immediately. One of the nice things about cryptocurrencies being decentralized is it can cross literally the world in a couple of seconds. It doesn't use a bank. It doesn't have to be confirmed by a bank, doesn't wait on charges, there's no delays, and that's why cryptocurrency is so powerful and has the potential that it does, because you might be sitting in China, I'm sitting in South Africa, I want to transfer you money. Normally that would take days and days and days, and there'd be a large fee on it. It becomes really inconvenient to move those large amounts of money. So with Bitcoin, I literally send it to you, and within seconds you have your Bitcoin, and we have successfully made a successful payment that works for both of us. So this application is called Exodus. I'm also going to link you to that. that was a complete rundown of everything that I've been using. I really hope my banking information wasn't displayed here. No, all good. Okay, so that's all good. Basically, that was an overlay of all the different platforms I use and how I use them. Like I said, if you have questions, I am going to be touching on each and every single one specifically. I'm going to leave links to them all down below. And yeah, I'm here to answer any questions you like. Basically, just to sum all the capital I have up in cryptocurrency right now, I have about 60,000 Rand in different aspects of cryptocurrency. And initially, I started with a 50,000 Rand investment, and I would say over the last month I've earned maybe about 10,000, 11,000 Rand. Some of these methods do take longer to pay off. So, for example, my 240-day lock-in period, obviously I'm only going to see my capital again next year, June, July. So, it's not exactly like I've earned this profit, but if everything comes through and everything works as intended with these systems, I would have earned a significantly larger amount than just 11,000. And obviously, day to day, I'm monitoring my graphs, seeing where to buy, where to sell, and that's also earning me profit every day based on good decisions. So, for example, right now with my 8,200 Rand that I earned in Ethereum earlier, I'm waiting for Bitcoin to take a dip. As you can see with another graphing example, whenever it climbs, or consistently, there is a nice little dip after that climb. We saw a massive one here. Luckily, I managed to capitalize quite nicely on that. We've now climbed, and it's plateauing up here, meaning not too long from now, I'm willing to bet once it climbs to about $8,500 per coin, it's going to hit another dip, and that's when I'm going to start investing my money back into it. So please, if you are going to do this, don't do it impulsively. I'm going to sit here and explain good times to buy, good times to sell. I'm not going to tell you should buy or sell. I'm just saying that's what I'm doing and why. And definitely, if you are going to be buying currency, buy in these dips and make sure that it has a trend higher or a resistance factor higher than the dip you bought in. So for example, the Ethereum from earlier, I bought at a much lower rate and I knew it was going to climb up to 400. And then from there, I was uncertain. So that's why I sold. I realized this is a long video, so I'm probably going to break it up into two parts. But I'm so happy that everyone came and joined me here today. I hope you learned something. And yeah, I hope you just keep active and I managed to kind of explain everything in an enthusiastic way and keep you, moving forward. Yeah, I just really want you to be able to, I want everyone in this community to be able to benefit their own financial future. And I just want to learn with you guys and learn from you guys. And hopefully I can, make a change in someone's life. And that's really why I'm doing this. So please, guys, look forward to the next projects coming up. My next video is probably going to be on Genesis mining with a little bit more of Altcoin Trader, because that's where I mainly buy and sell. So I'm going to walk you through more cryptocurrencies, and I'm also going to be releasing my next couple of videos will be the technology behind these cryptocurrencies, so blockchain technology, and how I assess whether or not I want to buy a coin, not just on the pricing graph, but with a simple concept of whenever I see a cryptocurrency, I ask myself what problem can it solve that isn't already being solved. So Bitcoin obviously allows us to gap that border where I can send you money in a completely different currency. It has completely different value to you instantly, seamlessly, and without involving a third party. But then you still have to look at how can that be improved. And other coins have improved on that. They just don't have the same market capital as Bitcoin. So I like to sit there and analyze what exactly does this problem solve. And I'm going to walk you through a whole bunch of different cryptocurrencies, what problems they solve, the technology behind them, and just give you a rundown of different information. So please, subscribe if you like this video. Subscribe if it was helpful. I know it was a bit long, but if you managed to make it to this point, I'm extremely thankful, and I really hope you learned something. I am super excited to keep this going, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you next video.